Hello everyone, we are live on Laitman's Facebook group. This is our weekly writers meeting on current events. Hello Laitman. Laitman, hello to you. Duty, hello to all the writers and the viewers. And we'd like to ask about what's happening today. We got some questions, and if you have a question to ask, then you can send it to us online now. So, Laitman, as far as we're concerned, you're the wise one who sees what's to come. So we'd like to ask you, do you see other viruses coming soon? And if so, in what way? Because there is talk about wasps and locusts. What's coming, if you can say, and how should we organize ourselves before it comes? Laitman, we have entered, as Bala Sulam writes, the period of the last generation, meaning that we are truly fast approaching the days of the Messiah. The days of the Messiah mean that there is a pulling force, moshech in Hebrew, from the word Mashiach, or Messiah, pulling us towards the quality of bestowal, adhesion with the Creator, identification with the Creator, where all of humanity, and after it also the living, the the vegetative and the inanimate, all of reality needs to rise from the corporeal existence, which is egoistic, through its correction to an altruistic form, connection to the point of love. And therefore, now, during this period, which is actually the last era of the corporeal world, until it all ascends to the spiritual world, during this era, very special forces are at work on us. As the Torah tells us, in the Exodus, the ego was previously revealing itself to be the good power by which we can trade and barter and do all sorts of things, conflict and connection, everything. And we enjoyed this world, and in short, this was to our best understanding of this world. This was good, but suddenly a new power comes. This is, as it is written, that the good Pharaoh, the egoistic, nice, good Pharaoh, was inverted. He doesn't want to play with us anymore according to our ego and everything we had before, but rather he shows us that we're not like him anymore. Incompatible. He shows us his corrected form, as we learn from the wisdom of Kabbalah, the form of love, bestowal, connection, of coming closer together. But this is unacceptable for us. This is not how we grew, how we developed. And we are completely unfit for it. We don't want it. We're incapable of living in such a world. However, nobody is asking us what we want. Ahead of us, there is this fact that we're facing, that we live in the new world. From this moment on, and truth be told, it's not from this moment, but until it comes into actual practice, until we get to the first blow, well, it turns out that we've entered the integral world as if with great suddenness, very suddenly, and this blow now is striking the whole world. And we have to understand what it actually wants from us. Even if we accept nature as an inanimate thing, these are forces, and these forces ultimately gave birth to us as well. They shaped us. And if so, what must we do in order to feel good? That is what we want, all in our small ego, our individual little egos. We want to understand where it comes from and why. And here we are rendered helpless. Humanity thinks this will pass like other things. It doesn't seem to discover that we are in a new age. The blows that will come to us now won't be individual, for individual people, rather. They will happen upon us all together, also individually to a different effect, but it will be something rather uniform for the whole world. Because the call of the times is such that we all feel bad or we all feel good. We all feel the essence of the blow, the meaning of the blow, the purpose of it, how to overcome it, how to surrender before it, subjugate ourselves, and advance. And this is what the coronavirus does. Now, other blows will come? Certainly. We will never learn anything from just one such punishment. We need to receive these blows until we understand their meaning, their purpose. These blows are very deliberately directed in a gradual sense, like the 10 plagues of Egypt. Blood, frogs, and so on, until we get to the last one, which will show us the Creator's intent, and we will accept it. How? By running from the ego towards Him. These are the blows of the gradual recognition of evil, it's called, and that's how we will advance. And that's where we are. Please. Noma. Noma. Yes, you're talking now about the punishment, the plagues of Egypt, and there are people who see certain resemblance with what's coming these days. Is there a difference between the plagues of Egypt and today's plagues? Laitman. No, I see no difference. I also don't think there is one. We simply have to understand what these blows are about, what they are in essence. And this is all for us just to feel the nothingness of our ego and how we need to transcend our ego and rise towards a connection between us. And not to again enter these imaginary businesses, these false endeavors that we're in, competition, squeezing each other and squeezing nature and the earth as much as possible, simply in order to provide to our ego some kind of semblance of success, imaginary success. And that's it. So in those blows, well, I don't see any difference. These are, as is written in the Torah, they're sort of metaphysical blows. And when they appear for us here, what's written in the Torah is actually written for our generation. That is also written, that the deeds of the fathers are assigned to the sons. And so everything in the Torah speaks only of our time, about us. And we need to bring it closer to us until we can actually feel it. And then when we accept these blows in the proper way, these plagues will become an upper embrace, a hug. They will invert, they will be a revelation of love. The more we rise above the blows, and you can rise above the blows only if we peel ourselves off of our evil inclination, disconnect ourselves from our evil inclination and wish to be above our ego, which is called to be above reason, to be adhered to the Creator and attached together, us. And by that, it's not only that we become very special, the selected one, the chosen one from among humanity, if we do that, but rather we must also convey this to the whole of humanity. Duty. There's a question from one of the people online. He's asking, in a very popular way, common, why did we even enter this process? He's asking. Laitman, this is not in our power to choose whether to enter it or not. This is a process set into motion before the creation of the universe and everything, from the original thought of creation. Before creation, there was a thought which is the foundation of all of reality, the spiritual reality and the corporeal reality. Before all that, there was a thought. It's the root. It's called the keter, the crown of the Creator, where everything began. The end result, let's call it, was that the final act that we're entering, materially even, it already existed in the initial thought. And so it's not we doing anything here. We cannot change anything. It's either that we adapt ourselves to this process, whereupon we live better. And to do that, we need to be such work where we alter our wills, our desires, we change our consciousness in a way where we accept the Creator's plan as a welcome thing. It needs to be of our own will, right? Not to be run over by the truck of advancement. We have to pull it ourselves. Steamroller, rather, not truck. We don't want to go under it. We want to pull this advancement towards us. Dudi, this is unclear to me. So there's a plague of locusts that needs to come from Africa in that original thought of creation, etc. Laitman, to the smallest detail and everything that happens in creation from beginning to end. Yes. Dudi, so what can we change? Can we prevent the next virus, the plague, the locust? Lightman, we can accept all these plagues in such a way where we want them. And then we won't feel them as plagues, as blows. We will feel them to be opportunities for discovering a new reality and our adhesion with the Creator. It's like a child that doesn't want to go to school. So he gets a few blows or he's forced some way to go to school. Do you remember yourself, Dudi? Dudi, yes, I remember. It was very harsh, very difficult. Lightman, it was very difficult to go to school, yeah? I see that there's a lady here smiling as well. Yes, Shelley? I liked going to school. Lightman, well, you... All right, so what do I want to say? Imagine to yourself that someone who really doesn't want to go to school, but he's willing to get blows and punishments and beating, whatever. He doesn't care. He cannot go to school under any circumstance. For him, school is such a punishment where he's willing he's going to explode for every moment in the classroom. And his teacher and his mom, everyone tells him, just sit there, just sit. And I can't sit, can't. Right, Shelley? And then what do? If this child understands that there is no choice, I will sit and I will literally ask for strength, for the strength to remain seated. They want me to sit, but I can't. This is how I'm built, structured. What do they want from me? My mother gave birth to me in such a way. This is how I am. What do you want from me? You gave me birth and made me such that I cannot sit in the classroom. And the teacher, why are you giving me such conditions under which I can't sit? So I'm here between the teacher and the mother. They created these conditions together for me to sit in torment and just explode. So what can you do? Ask. Ask for my nature to be changed. That's what I do. But this request is very difficult already, very meaningful, because through that request, in that request, I accept a third authority, let's say, who is stronger than the mother and the teacher, stronger than the force of good and the force of evil, let's call them, or however you want. There is another force, a power which created me as I am, and he can change me. And I ask him, and suddenly he reveals himself. There's no alternative. I cry to him because I cannot go to school. I'm exploding there during the lesson, and I can't go home from school because there I'll also get a beating. So what can I do? So I turned to him, as it is written, and the children of Israel sighed from their labors, and they cried out. And they were answered. What answer did they get? A transformation of their nature. The Creator created this nature through the mother and through the teacher, and the Creator transforms nature. And then we agree with those transformations and changes. We even wish for them. We begin to understand that it's in our best interests and it's worthwhile, and we ask for it. Bring it, bring more and more. Change me, transform me, make of me this and that. And then we cry to him to give us a new nature. And the children of Israel sighed from the labor, from the troubles, from being in a narrow place between these two forces. And so then we see that the forces of the teacher, the forces of the mother, they were all of them good forces. They brought us to a state where we transcend our troubles, where from our troubles, or by giving us trouble, they pushed us towards ascending, rising to the Creator. Dudi, there are many questions here. What is the request you're talking about? Is it a kind of cry for help in the heart? Or Laitman, yes. Yes, help me. There's no choice. There's no alternative. You could probably put it in a different way. But yeah, help me. Help me in what? Help me rise above my ego such that I can perform actions which go against my ego, to connect properly with others, to listen to the lessons, to know what the Creator wants of us. Dudi, who do you cry for help to? Or what do you help me against what? What? Laitman, help me against my ego, my laziness. For the time being, the ego is showing itself with the facet of laziness, let's call it. Dudi, how can I enter the process? Laitman, I don't want the blows. Why should I? I come to these blows through lack of choice, not of my own volition. I don't even know that I need to change. So I'm being pushed, as I was pushed to school, to learn, to study. Dudi, another question. Will every common person reach such high discernments? Laitman, yes, what's so high about it? It's just to know my own nature. What governs me in my life, in everything I do, is my ego. And it is really not in my best interests until I begin to absolutely hate it. And it depends on the root of one's soul, how high it is. But according to that, one will receive the powers he needs to transcend the evil, to come out of it. That's all. After the recognition of evil and the recognition of good, you marshal the strength and emerge from it. Dudi, so the difference is only in how we relate to things, not in what will actually happen? Laitman, the difference between what and what? Dudi, in how we relate to different states that come to us. If we change our attitude, we come to the right prayer. Will the locust come or not? Or will it come and we will hug it? Or what exactly happens? What's the scenario? Laitman, I cannot paint this picture for you. There's much to it. There's a lot to it. They don't have to be plagues as they were then, right? Not necessarily, although it can be something very close. What is blood? What is the plague of blood? I don't know. What, that water will turn into blood? Frogs? Where suddenly they'll go quack quack under your window? What? Or suddenly you open a pot and there's a frog sitting there laughing at you. You have nothing to eat. So you'll do like the French do. Duty, exactly. They'll be happy. Laitman. No, it's not duty. No. Love. All this is it's borrowed terms, let's call them. It's not frogs and head lice there either. Although it can truly be very terrible, terrible plagues, which we can imagine. Duty, forget about the blows of Egypt, the plagues of Egypt. Now we see in Africa, we see movies, we see wasps this size and locusts from there landing in the United States. That's a blow, that's a plague. It's an outcome of our incompatibility with nature, right? Laitman, yes. Duty. Okay, so you say that these plagues have to come whether we want to or not, but can we block it, change it, how to relate to it? Laitman, these blows have to come in order to save us from our evil inclination. They must come. 10 plagues, exactly, one after the other. Now the question is, in what form will they come? What form will they take? And how strong, how powerful, it depends on us. Because the mother says to the child, if you don't go to school, if you don't learn, then tomorrow you will get a punishment. And the child understands that this punishment won't help him very much. Because he won't be changing his evil inclination with that. So he needs to turn to some power that will help him change his evil inclination. So he turns to the Creator and he tells him, he cries out, my God, you created me, fix me. And that's everything that's demanded of the child, to take one step towards the Creator. With the second blow, he'll take another step, and the third, another, until he achieves complete adhesion, as we call it. Now, each time he wants to advance towards the Creator, he needs to develop the power of bestowal. He develops that by, first of all, coming closer to humanity, through a group of 10, through the group of Bnei Baruch, through the global Bnei Baruch group, through the whole of humanity. He includes everyone within him, because the Creator includes everyone. So in order to turn to the Creator, you need to turn to everyone and to wish to... You're already elevating yourself above all the egoistic calculations, and you understand that you need to relate well to the whole of humanity, and later to the animate degree and the vegetative and inanimate degrees. Duty, it sounds like life is pure suffering. Where's the joy here? Laitman, no, life is not suffering. It's a very unique adventure. By accepting life as a purposeful thing, with a purpose that is above you, by that you acquire the inner meaning of life, the essence of life, from this corporeal, this despicable, lowly corporeal degree where you're only bound to your temporary, transient flesh body. You turn away from that. You invert yourself and you receive your eternal whole life. Duty. We always say that connection is the cure to all the blows, all the troubles. How can connection be a cure for these blows that you say that we have to get? Laitman, connection is also a blow, but it is a blow against your ego. You ask the Creator, give me strength, and the Creator gives you strength and you connect. when you turn to the Creator, you surrender before Him. When He gives you the power to connect, by that you acquire the vessel, the kli, or the means, or the instrument also. And when you acquire this vessel through these two steps, you come to the third step, which is adhesion with the Creator on the first degree, also called zivug in Hebrew, the first degree. Shelley? Okay, I want to return to the example of the child and the mother and the teacher. So why actually did nature create me so incompatible with the system that I need to get blows from here and from there in order to change? Why did it create me like this if I need to be something different? Laitman, we're the opposite of the Creator. Otherwise, we could not be the created being. The created being, by definition, has to be the opposite of the Creator. And so it follows that if the Creator is the will to bestow, we need to take on the form of the will to receive. However, in order to be as the Creator and remain as the created being, we need to acquire the intention of bestowing in order to bestow. And then as created beings, we come to be as the Creator. That is the very special state that the Creator prepared for us, where we reach His level, His actual level, nothing less. And that is truly His greatness. And so, because He wanted to create the created beings in order to bring them to the degree of perfection, which is Him, to be like Him, no lesser, not inferior in any way, except for our point of origin, let's say. He had to create us in this way, in the will to receive, and to give the will to receive the form of bestowal, meaning to clothe us with the form of the Creator. So if I look at a corrected person, I see that he behaves like the Creator, with the emotions, with the mind, in every aspect. But inside, within, he's the complete opposite of the Creator, meaning that this person includes the whole of creation from beginning to end. Shelley, so just to tie it to the normal state of mind of people, these days people are in they have this mode of thought where you need to accept yourself as you are, that's the best, be whole with yourself, don't let anyone tell you you're somehow wrong, or how will people make this transition to the understanding that they are imperfect? Laitman, you need not to look to what they think now. You understand this very well, but in parallel with that, you also have to tell them what we're now saying. And gradually, through the blows, which we can already detect, we detect a second and a third blow coming, and not just the coronavirus. This coronavirus is undergoing such modifications, such mutation, which it can end up a terrible, terrible thing. It's terrible, the thing that we may be facing. And the fact that humanity is now discovering it, it's very good. It's a sign from the heavens that we can avoid going into that. So we need to teach. What does your Lord demand of you, but for fear of Him? Right? It's written, we need to use different words, but we need to teach that. If we do what is required of us, the corrections that we need to make, no plagues, no blows will come to us. So let's do it. Dudi, usually you speak in terms of nature and the integral system, but today you're talking about the Creator directly. Do we need to begin to talk to people about an upper force governing everything? Laitman, no. You're right. It's better for us to speak about nature as an integral system, because this is more comfortable for me. This is what I feel. This way I'm in connection with nature, the upper force. Nature and the Creator is the same thing, by the way, according to the wisdom of Kabbalah. In Gematria, nature is God. It's the power of Binah. But for lack of choice, we need to speak in such a way where we call it nature. It is nature. You will need to rewrite some things. Sivan, can you hear me? Laitman, yes. Sivan, so what you're saying is that our duty is to explain to everyone that everything that happens to us is with the intention for us to change our nature, wanting to change our nature? Laitman, yes, change ourselves, our own nature. Sivan, so how can a person even enter such a process where he wants to alter nature? Laitman, a person needs to understand that he's not in his current state by his own choice, and he will need to change. Through blows he will get at school and at home, let's say, as we said, or, alternatively, he can subdue himself and ask for a transformation of his nature. I can't. I got to such a state of the recognition of evil where I cannot sit in the classroom. What to do? So I ask for my nature to be changed. It's something very meaningful. It's not just that I somehow try to do other things during the lesson, occupy myself. No. I come to a state where I understand that there's no choice and I demand a correction. And I will receive it. One will receive a correction to his ego, such that it takes on the form of bestowal. Sivan, so if I want to enter the mind of someone who's living his regular life now, and suddenly this coronavirus outbreak happens, and he doesn't know what to do with himself, with his children, with his work, with the economy, and now we tell him, wait, look above all that. Something came here in order to change the egoistic nature in general, and it's something much higher than how you perceive it as of now. Is that right? Is that true? Laitman, yes, that is true. And this is what we need to tell everyone. But there is a problem here. We need to make each and every person a little bit greater than he is right now, a bit more than what he is. I don't want to sell to him some trick, some patent, some invention that will ameliorate the pain and suffering. No, I want to come to a state where each and every person will have some connection to the purpose of life, the purpose of creation. He cannot remain as a beast. We are now at a time where each one must rise to the degree of Adam, man, human, according to the root of his soul. To some extent, at least, we must. And so I must explain the process to them. Whether they want to or not, they have to understand that only through knowledge and later through actual transformation, he will be able to avoid the blows and to see his life as very successful, very good. Sivan, so, but other than just saying it, it seems like a person has to go through a process, the process we are going through in workshops, through actual practical work to change. Laitman, it could be that we will need to open such a university. Let's call it an open one. I don't know in what way to do it. Of course, we need to expand upon our dissemination efforts to open more campuses, to have more lectures, for everything to be written, and to have everything broadcast to the... Yes, we need to turn to the wider public and to attract them, to draw them there at every turn, so they will read and understand and listen. We need to understand that our work now is very much in tune with the blows that humanity are about to receive. We will be following it exactly. They will be sitting at home. They won't be able to succeed in anything. Most of humanity will be disconnected from their business, their work, and this is what will happen. You will see what will happen. People won't go to the malls and to the restaurants. Everything will be much more humble. And that time has passed. Norma. So up to now we heard that connection is the solution. A few minutes ago you said that connection is a blow. Why is it a blow? Laitman, when did I say that? Norma, you said... Chaim, you said that connection is a blow to the ego. Laitman, yes, by that you're correct. It's a blow to the ego. Norma, I'm sorry, yes, I didn't explain myself fully. Laitman, okay, no, you're not wrong. Judy, so the person has to actively change his attitude towards others, or just to understand that his ego is bad and to want to change? Laitman, it may suffice in thought, in intention, in one's will, desire, but not in actual practical action. Because it is only a demonstration. A demonstration. The physical action is only indicates the fact that this is our intention, nothing more. In effect, we need to do everything only in our wills, in our intentions, in mind and heart. Judy, there are such questions asking, how should I adapt my daily routine to the plan of nature? What should I do? I work in an office. Should I throw away my previous life and work for the betterment of humanity? Or Laitman, you need do nothing. Life itself will throw you around until you come to see where and how you need to acquire a new attitude towards yourself, a new attitude towards humanity and the whole formation structure of the world. You don't need to do anything by force. We've already entered such states where simply we will need to go through it. Duty. What signs help me advance on the path? How can I, before the blow, like that child in the classroom, force myself to demand change? Laitman. Prayer is called work in the heart. If I feel sorrow in my heart that I'm not as I should be, that is prayer. Let's say I want to love Dudi Aharoni, and I don't. What can I do? I don't like the looks of him. I don't like him, the way he behaves, his mentality. And why must I, actually? Why must I love him? But if I know that through that I can come close to the Creator, or that by that I can fix reality, it's something more important than my own ego. And so I ask, I beg, I pray for my ego to allow me to love Dudi. What can I do? Because if this is in my way, on the path through which I attain the purpose of my life, then that's what I must do. It's an egoistic thing even. We're still in an egoistic process where we prefer to be in a good connection with the Creator and with society, because this produces less plagues and punishments for us. After that, we conclude this process called Lo Lishma, not for her sake. And through that, we get to a state where we reach Lishma, for her sake, meaning that I don't want it because it's better for me, but rather I'll want it because it's because it's the best thing for humanity, for divinity, for reality, and simply because it's the truth, But we begin with lo lishma, not for her sake, because it's in my best interest. It's worthwhile for me because it's good for me. And then gradually, through the reforming light, we come to a state where I want this. Why do you want it? What does it give you? It doesn't give me anything, but I've changed my ideals. Duty. When we speak with terms such as nature, global, integral system, what is prayer there? Laitman, prayer is work in the heart. That I want to change, I want to do good to others. Even if I want to do good to others because this will be good for me. Perhaps even I don't understand this, but subconsciously it could be that yes, I do understand. It could be that I want what's best for others because this will be in my own best interest. And it could be that I've already left that behind, that because of the reforming light, I see that even if this completely disconnected from me, I want them to have it good. Why? How? How can it happen? You're an egoist. No, I'm no longer such an egoist. The light has influenced me to some extent, disconnecting me from it gradually. Like that. Shoresh Aleph Bet Gimel Dalet, these are the degrees through which we rise, we ascend. Shelley, please. For one to agree to change, he needs some kind of very serious compensation, to feel, to see some compensation, or at least a group of people he sees doing it. And he's envious of them because he sees how they profited from it. So who will serve as an example for this reward, and etc.? Laitman, we, us. What's the question? Don't you know that there is such a group called Bnei Baruch, which need to serve as an example for the whole of humanity in advancing, showing what it means to advance towards the Creator? And of course, all the rulers and heads of state and managers, they won't agree to this at all. All the egoists, in short, who govern and run our egoistic society, the whole world, Bibi, Trump, all those, it doesn't matter who. Of course they will disagree. Because you and Dudi, let's say, you're drawing the public's eye, their attention, away from these false businesses, false rulers. You draw their eyes towards you, who are giving a true example. So of course they won't agree, but there's no choice. And this is yet ahead of us. You'll wait, you'll see, you'll get such reactions. They still do not feel that they're being threatened by us. Shelley, and the compensation, how will it manifest? Will people engaged in this become happier, healthier, richer? What? Laitman, could be to an extent, but mostly it's the fact that this is compatible with the plan of creation. It's the plan of creation. This is the way we go. We spoke of how the coronavirus won't pass. And you see that it's not passing. It mutates, yes? Different variations. Yes, so it mutates. Chaim says that variations is fine. Laitman, yes, variations, fine. We don't know what they're like, but certainly it's not passing. It's not going away. The coronavirus isn't going away. It simply takes on different and more different changes until we change. And when we change, as we change, we come to a degree where the coronavirus doesn't bother us anymore, doesn't harm us. Doesn't harm us. We become more powerful than the coronavirus. Because the coronavirus, what does it awaken in us? Only the fact that we're not connected together enough. We will rise to a new degree of connection, and we will no longer feel the coronavirus there. Suddenly it will stop being any problem. It won't bring us any disease, any problems. Something else will come instead. This is called blood, frog, lice, and so on. That's the matter of the blows, the plagues. It's the revelation of aviut, coarseness, that we need to rise above in order to bestow. More coarseness, more rising above it, being in order to bestow, until we reach the height called the Exodus from Egypt. Judy, if we see less people ill, less people dying, it's a sign that we're connecting better, connecting more. Laitman, yes, that too, because in every corporeal blow there's also some of our own investment, our corporeal investment. If I exert myself to an extent, I can pay with that exertion for my spiritual ascendance. But this is for the time being. From time to time, the corporeal, the physical component will grow smaller and lesser, and I will rise more spiritually. So we won't see great success from all of our research, our cures and medicines. We tried all that, and suddenly we will find that it doesn't help. A new blow comes, and without cessation, like that, very simple. Like in the plagues of Egypt. It's the time to emerge from the ego. It's called the last generation. So we have to get it that way, and it's a series of blows. You see how it's written of in the Torah. One blow comes, it passes, and immediately the Creator comes to Moses and tells him, come to Pharaoh. Because this is the revelation of the Creator to the vessels. The revelation of the Creator to unready vessels, vessels which are unready for connection, that is called a blow, a plague. What is a plague? Where I'm told, you need to love him, you need to embrace him, you need to give. That is a blow. Just a moment, Guy. Norma, please. Norma, yes, regarding the plagues of Egypt, it gives us a feeling that we haven't advanced as humanity, even 1 centimeter from then, if we have the same problems. So, is it so? Laitman, we now merit the process of these plagues, meaning it's an indication. Well, the word indication, I don't know. It's, in short, we see what the obstacles on our path to adhesion with the Creator are, for the revelation of the Creator within the created being, which is the purpose of creation. We see what stands in our path. So, in our path stands our desires to receive, in order to receive. And we need to rise above this intention, which is in order to receive, and to continue from there. So we have a will to receive, divided into 10 parts, and we need to overcome that intention, which is upon each and every such part of the corrupted will to receive. And of course, before that, we've done nothing. Before that, we weren't in an integral system. It's only now that we've actually begun. Dudi, why is it a merit to enter this process of plagues? Laitman, because this is the process of the Exodus from Egypt. What can be better? Now, today, let's say now you're given an opportunity to emerge, let's say you're an Egyptian, now give me your ID. Instead of Egyptian, let's write that you're Jewish now, and you can go. Do you agree or not? And this is the whole thing. Do you agree to be the servant, the slave of Pharaoh, and to recognize the extent of your servitude, and not to run? You agree, you remain, you don't feel that you don't even agree that you're a slave, and then you don't think about it at all. So it's either wanting to emerge or not wanting. We're past that though. Noma. So the system was always integral, but now we're just discovering it, discovering that fact. Laitman, yes, we didn't feel ourselves as being in an integral world. Today, I don't think that there is room for a world war, let's say. It's very clear to everyone, to all of us, that we're no longer capable of it. These blows, these plagues also, they deflect us, let's say. They turn us to a different direction, a different mode of advancement. And it's clear to us that through war we will achieve nothing. You understand? And so we will now see how all this military conflict and defense between nations, all this politics, it all goes down, goes away, because it's clear to everyone that we're facing something universal. We're facing the Creator who is appearing in such a way where we have no way of defending ourselves, protecting ourselves from Him. We need to be as one man in one heart in order to hold this, to withstand this blow from the Creator or from Pharaoh, it doesn't matter, and to advance correctly. Duty. So Asaf is writing to us that scientists studying biological variation estimate that there is 1.1 billion viruses that afflict birds, which can develop and afflict people. Laitman, yes, we will get support from every which way now. But the main thing is that above all of that, we need to explain to a person what his role is, because now it pertains to everyone. Duty. So what good can we depict to humanity from this whole process? What good future, good depiction can we paint for humanity from this whole complex process that you lay before us in this meeting, in this writers' meeting? Laitman, it's good if we sit all of us together, loving, around the campfire, connected together, and enjoy life. That's all. Otherwise, you will sit between your four walls, afraid, like a rabbit under a bush, from everything that lurks or may lurk here and there and there and here. This is what your life will be like from morning to evening and from evening to morning. Guy, please. Yes, Rav, you spoke much of our need to show through research that connection is worthwhile, that it's profitable. And I wanted to share what I see now from where I work. I see that hundreds of millions of dollars the world over are being assigned to the study of the coronavirus. All researchers stopped what they're doing and became researchers of coronavirus. Each one in his area, health, medicine, sociology, psychology. Governments are spending billions of dollars on it. It's something that's incredible to see. They stopped everything they were doing before, and they added the coronavirus to their research agenda and what they're doing. So I won't ask you if you think that this is good, because I think I know the answer, but I will ask you, what kind of research goal would you allot these billions of dollars to if you could pick one? What kinds of research do we need to see in the integral world, in the new world that we're entering? Laitman, I think that it's clear. Only dissemination and means of dissemination. There's nothing else we need to do but to promote people towards the goal, the purpose. Nothing else is necessary. That's the cure itself. And it's what the next generation needs to do. It's where we need to get. And so I would work only in that direction. I don't think that we're capable today of achieving anything with these billions of dollars they're throwing in every direction, because they're doing it out of fear of what will happen. They have more clear data than we do on what's happening in the world. And so according to these phenomena, we can understand how the coronavirus phenomena is much more serious than the media tells us, and it is truly the case. But what can you do? We follow the path of suffering. They will throw away all their money. They will conduct all the research in order to ultimately say, this is what we got. We don't know. We don't know how to improve our lives and avoid the coronavirus. We can't. And so through this path of suffering, another blow will come, and another, and with each blow we can hope it will straighten them out a bit. But we need to write about where we are now. And it will be accepted. People will accept it. It's not just us, first of all, but rather from above we will also get some assistance in bringing them a little more knowledge, making them a bit wiser. But I'm not sorry about these dollars moving from pocket to pocket for the purpose for this research. Yes, because we don't know how to use them correctly anyway. Let's say all of you are writers, and I now give each of you whatever he wants or she wants, whatever. You're welcome to it. Just write, make movies, produce movies, do something. I still don't see in you, I don't discover in all of you the inner potential that is bursting with the desire to just erupt and illuminate the whole world. Dudi, what do we lack? Laitman, we lack that inner potential to erupt, to explode and shine a light to the whole world with the power of the upper light. Well, Guy, yes, I wanted to update you and also ask, we're already performing research showing the benefits of connection without billions of dollars, and we find very positive results. We see that connection causes people to become less anxious. They work better when united more. These are studies that Avinom Tovian, myself and Eli Vinokub have been conducting for 2 years now. Do you think that such research has a potential to facilitate change, or is it a drop in the sea and will not be taken seriously? Laitman, no, it's not a drop in the ocean, because from all of those researches, all those studies which so-called researchers conduct, what will remain will be your research, your work, and your writings, your essays, and so you have to do your work, and not necessarily on very high levels. I'm not going to change the minds of those researchers. What matters to me is the average person, which is below those scholarly studies. The scholars, they work, whatever they're being paid to study, that's what they study. They have no other calculations they make. So I don't talk about them. I'm talking about the common person who will be impressed by what I'm putting out there. And so I'm very, very grateful to all of you. Dudi, I'm very grateful to Eli, Oleg. Yes. Duty. Thank you, everyone, indeed, and yourself as well. And this was a fabulous meeting, and it sounds like we've advanced many steps in how we explain things. We're now turning to the wider public, so could you perhaps summarize what is the closest, the nearest message to the public with which we need to emerge now? Laitman. Coronavirus is afraid of connection. It sounds like I'm speaking in two different levels. Here's coronavirus, here's connection. What could be the connection? They don't occupy the same plane, right? They don't intersect. But this is how it works. And this is what we need to explain to everyone. Try it. But we advance. And protect yourselves. Be watchful, because we're approaching such modifications and mutations of the coronavirus which are much more harsh, much more powerful. We see that it's not just passing away. So be safe. If not for the families, I would have you all gather here, sitting here from morning to evening, just sitting and writing and talking and writing and talking. So good luck to all of you. Duty, thank you, Av. All the best.